Hello chipsters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. It's just a quick pop-up one, just to give you some progress on Dengar. I used the AK black acrylic primer this time. I don't know, obviously, how well it'll stick. Hopefully, decent enough. I mean, I gave the entire anything that I could. I gave it a light scuffing with a sanding sponge. Just to help the primer stick. And obviously gave it a good wipe down with IPA alcohol. So we live in hope. The main filling obviously is around the joins here, around the crotch, waist area, up obviously near the well, obviously wherever it joins into the main torso. The problem area on this figure, and as I said before, all those with armour, is going to be when they've got pins. You can see the lumpiness there. I've got to do better. I'm hoping that'll blend slightly in with the paint when I'm doing it. But I've got to get a heck of a lot better. I think if you were anybody like a car modeller or aircraft modeller that has to deal with seams all the time, you'd probably breeze through that. I've obviously rippled it up here with some fabric, obviously putty, but fabric. The same this side. You can see I'd lumped it more because when I did it originally, it looks very slightly concaved, and I thought, oh well, when I put the paint on that, I'm going to end up seeing two circles through. So I've got lumps instead. I don't know. I'll work that out. I don't know if you can see, it's obviously showing up the nice textures you've got in the plastic in the holster there. Obviously the backpack goes on the back. I have done the sky grey, so I just use a black primer, and then got some, I think it was Vallejo. Was it Vallejo? I think it was between Vallejo and AK. And I used sky grey and then some like off-white or whatever you call it, just to it's not so much going on about zenithal highlighting and all that. This is just really to put some shadow areas in, pre-shading wise. So you put all these different, you put your black on, or you can do it the other way, you can put light colours and then put black into the recesses, up to you. But it just gives you shadow areas already to work on. You know where your shadows are, and if your paint's light enough, it'll give you a lighter, a shaded area and a lighter area already to work with. But you don't have to do it. I mean, quite often I just leave them grey, it just depends. I'm sorry, he's on his block, so on this mini tripod, I'm really stuck for space. I will use the bigger tripod on upcoming paint, when I start adding paint. I think the face came out nicely. I often like Lando, I mean, not Lando, and Cassian Ando, or Andor. I think the face comes up better grey and white. Obviously he's got his scars and everything, which we'll be enhancing with some paint. The armour is, I'm going to give it just I've got to be really careful on the sanding now, because it's acrylic, so it's going to come off quite easily. I will try and give it a light sanding before I start painting now, so we can get some of this crud off it. But the armour's going to be like it's like a brownie, a brown black bronze, if that makes sense. I thought of doing, and even on the worst parts of the pins, if they really are showing through or not too lumpy, I might do maybe a couple of blaster scorch marks, which aren't necessarily there on the couple of films. As I say, I think he was only in Empire Strikes Back in the background scene as Lord Vader's trying to get him to get the Millennium Falcon or whatever. But he is quite prolific in the comics and the novels, the comic novels, graphic novel. There we go. I keep forgetting that word. But yeah, really looking forward to him, and And we've got his two blasters. As I say, yeah, I know that's an MG34, but as I say, these were made in Pinewood Studios, I believe, here in the UK, and they're filming a lot more over here now. I think it's a bit cheaper, and obviously they just dipped into the armour as warehouse and picked out weapons that they could just, you know, slightly convert. So yep, they're done. So he's got like 3 accessories. If you bought him as an action figure, you get the 2 weapons and the backpack. I got this other one come through the post, which it has to be one of the main characters, and probably my favourite character, along with a lot of people. And that's obviously Han Solo. Again, a loose figure. He only comes with 1 accessory, which guy's put in this little baggie for me. His blaster. You're going to have the blaster in that hand because it's the way his finger is. Because obviously it's been put. I think this is one of the earlier ones. I might be wrong, but I just the guy sold it to me on the pose. It just, and when I've tried to pose it, I can't get it to look exactly how he got it. Well, so I'll have to go back and look at his picture, because I thought, yeah, when I do this one, that's how I'll, you know, it doesn't seem to have the articulation in the arms as the Dengar figure does. Well, it used to have. But I'll go back to Dengar in a second, because I just want to show you something how I've posed them. That's why I like these action figures. Obviously, I'm never going to pay top whack for them. There's no point, you know, I'm turning them into statues, so I try and get them where I'm great if they're in a box. It means they haven't been mooched around with, and they're not as flexible, but that doesn't really make much difference. Obviously, I'm going to glue it. That's what I mean. I'm going to put some super glue in there first, then my putty. But I always obviously pose them in the great thing is, if you bought a statue, it's already done for you. It's there, you know. There's not much else you can do. But with these action figures, you can, before you turn them into a statue, you can put them in a pose that you like. Like all action figures, is it a massive likeness to Han Solo? Probably not. You know, not much we can do about that. That is the trade-off with the action figures compared to the statues. Even the is it Hot Toys ones? I think they're this type of material, but they spend a lot more time trying to get the faces better. Although I was looking at a guy's collection on YouTube, and he was showing some of the Princess Leia's off, and I'm thinking, that doesn't look like Princess Leia to me any more than these 6-inch ones do. I hope they do. They are supposed to be doing, or they have been doing, resculpts on the faces, like say using that bit like when you're looking through, like I am now, this viewfinder. It puts a little square there, and they can obviously do a facial change to it. But that's not brilliant. I've seen their 6-inch one from the last 3 films, when he's obviously a lot older, and that actually looks a lot more like him. It's just that, like a lot of people, I'm not a big fan of those films, you know, with Rain and that. I just think they messed around with it too much. But that's not to say I'm not a fan of something. As I say, I really like the Solo film, and people panic, but I really like it, and I'm a real big fan of the Rogue One. So you know, it's not that Disney's got everything wrong, but that I just couldn't get into. I've got them on DVD, but they'll only ever be watched once. So yeah, we got Hunter Do next. Again, we've got pins to fill, but I find doing the fabric, it's easier, because you can obviously, any bad filling, you can just turn it into fabric. See, this is what I don't like about the action figures, that they've got to be like this, but you've got this obviously like nappy codpiece type thing. That's why I like them as statues. I like them, you know, not to have all these joins in them. But they wouldn't be action figures, obviously. But it just gives me, as I've said before, a cheap way that I can afford to have my own statues, and I can have my own fun painting them up, you know. That's what, you know, I'm a figure painter. I do obviously models and that, but to scale modelling, but figure painting is one of my main things. So it just gives me a cheap, I mean, this was a tenner, £10, 10 quid. You know, it's and that was with the postage, and that's roughly what I'm ballpark is. You know, if I can pick one up for anywhere with the postage, oh, I'm tight. between about, you'd be lucky to get one for 6 quid, but about 8 to 10 quid, I'm happy. But there'll be times when I know I'm going to pay more for figures that I particularly want. I won't be paying the 30-40 quid mark for them, because for me to turn them into a statue, it's not that worth it. You know that once enough have come onto the market, I'll get one eventually. But at the moment, there's enough characters out there that I can pick up for 8, 10, 11, 12 pound with a postage. As I say, it's no skin off my nose if they're in a box or not. Yeah, looking forward to doing this one. As I think I was thinking about the other day, I've got lots of favourite characters in Star Wars, and a lot of them are small characters, you know. No, I don't mean Yoda size, as in, you know, they don't appear a lot, but they do appear more in books and stuff. But Han, I think, is probably my favourite character. I just like the attitude he's always got. And it doesn't, sometimes it leads him into making the wrong decisions. Yeah, thanks a lot. Oh, yeah, just get back to Dengar quickly. So you see what I mean about posing them? I've got one foot back there. This one's slightly bent. I've got him slightly leaning to the right. No, it's not the camera or you. Unless it's Friday night and you might have indulged too much. Head. Now that's still got some movement in, because I just couldn't get super glue in there to get it to bite without leaving super glue everywhere. So I was quite happy with that. It doesn't bother me if the head moves. I mean, it won't, obviously, once it's on display. But if you can see, I've just got him slightly tilted to the right, and I won't get the main gun out now, but obviously he'll have that over his shoulder, backpack on. So yeah, I posed that with the, I didn't know exactly what to do with that arm or not, and I thought I'll have it just slightly behind the pack. I wish I'd moved it slightly back now, because it would be a bit of a bugger to paint, but never thought about that at the time. But it was either, you know, he's just standing there with his hand half gripped, or he could be going about to, you know, flip the pouch open. So yeah, thanks a lot for stopping by and taking a look. I'll get painting him over the next few days. I've been working on HMS Avenger the last couple of nights, and had to unpick a load of PE, because I'd got, it's amazing when you're trying to look at stuff off two different instructions, trying to look at photographs as well. I often stuff up, and and I've also lost the. They've got some lovely resin fiberglass covers for some of the radar or satellite communications, and I must have just thrown them. I must have thrown them away, because I haven't got them anywhere. So I've literally had to make some balls of putty, and now I'm going to have some joyous times trying to file them into something like a radar dome. Oh, never mind. Anyway, that's that. Going back onto painting some figures today. The barn for my figures and my 15mm World War II. Got all the tiles on that. I'm just going to do the ridge tiles at the top. Work away out of doing them. I've been doing the videos for them as I go, and some still photographs, and I'll do that as just a one-off video. So thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. I hope you enjoy going to see. I'll be sticking some short videos up, not the shorts. I don't think, I'm not interested in those, but I'll stick up some videos, you know, as we progress. I'll probably go from feet upwards. So when I've got to about here, we'll probably have a look, you know, see what's occurring. So look after yourselves, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.